Okay. If you had to, Steelman, when, if ever, have Democrats or people on the left in America done anything close to staging an insurrection? I'm sure you honestly probably could find some BLM riot for it. People try to come at me by saying that, like, oh, well, if this is an insurrection, you'd have to say other things are insurrection, blah, blah. I don't necessarily know if I consider, like, insurrection to even be necessarily that huge of a thing. The reason why the J6 stuff was so bad, wasn't because of what it was because of who led it. That's the issue. Nobody understands that. I think I've said this in, like, some arguments in the past, right? I'm sure that throughout history, there's probably been people who haven't even been charged who have, like, tried to rise up against the government in some small, stupid groups. Like, I'm sure that if we were to go and look through the, what are those stupid things that happen on federal land where, what am I trying to think of? Who were the people that tried to, like, take some federal land and they ended up having a shootout with the FBI? I think they even killed one. It's not Chaz. Chaz was, I don't even know what the Chaz was. I still need to look into that. Was it the Oregon guys? The Bundy family? No, it was like kind of recent. It might have been, no, I don't think it was Waco. People are saying Bundy Ranch. It might have been that. I think it was this. Like this, maybe this counts as an insurrection. I don't know. I'd have to go and look this up. But the stuff with this, like, the reason why this wasn't as big of a deal as it was because these guys were basically acting alone, I think, right? I don't think that there were any, like, I don't think there were any politicians that were giving these guys support. But the president of the United States leading this is what makes this such a huge deal, you know? Wouldn't Chaz count as Chaz something you would research in the future? I think why did this just open a whole last new fucking thing now? Please stop. I think I wrote Chaz on my thing to look up. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we can probably read about this. But I don't think anybody even knows what Chaz was. I don't know what Chaz was. And anytime I've asked somebody to tell me, okay, what actually happened, nobody has any fucking idea. Nobody has any clue what the fuck, like, anything happened with Chaz. So, yeah, I don't know if anybody even knows. I have no clue. I don't know. Yeah. Neither do the Chaz people. Yeah, maybe not. Yeah. But okay. So Trump tweets out at 8:17 a.m. At 8:22, Trump tweets, the Republican Party and more importantly our country needs the presidency more than ever before. The power of the veto. Stay strong. At 9 a.m., that Save the March rally starts. I would say everything in here is all talking about the coup shit. White House Deputy Chief of Staff Tony Ornato informs Mark Meadows, Trump's White House Chief of Staff, that authorities at the Ellipse encountered attendees with weapons, including pistols, rifles, bear spray, and spears. According to Hutchinson's testimony, so Trump knows that there are weapons and everything in the crowd. I would say that's in furtherance. At 10:30 a.m., 200 to 300 Proud Boys begin marching towards the Capitol. They start gathering before that. Proud Boys. Let me reread some of the This is the indictment. OIG report. Cringe, don't care. On the day of On January 6, 2021, at 10 a.m., a group of approximately 100 Proud Boys members gathered near the Washington Monument. Okay. I've been kicked out of leftist spaces here for not following their constellation. I'll spill all about Chaz. I made videos with leftists on it. Okay, maybe in the future when we check it out. Okay, so at 10 a.m., a group of about 100 Proud Boys began gathering near the Washington Monument. None of them wearing the ordinary Proud Boys uniforms, with leadership equipped with radios and bullhorns to direct group movements consistent with plans made prior by Proud Boys leader Enrique Tarrio. While it was happening, Chaz was a big deal. I'm surprised you don't know much about it. Were you not into politics during that time? It's the thing is I don't consider myself knowing much about anything until I've actually like read hard into a thing, because there's so much like misinformation that gets like spread about any particular thing. I don't know anything about a thing until I actually read into it. I heard about it at the time it was happening, but I don't know what was true or what wasn't true. I heard everything from cops decided to fuck off because they were protesting and they left, and there was some like group that basically said, well, this is Chaz territory now, you guys don't get to come police here anymore, and that like people got killed inside and cops were disallowed from coming in to investigate, all the way to a group of like violent Black Panthers, BLM activists kicked all the cops out of like a block and took it over and tried to set up their own government. I have no idea like I don't know what actually happened in terms of like what the process was, what actually happened from start to finish. It was like a really big event, or if it was like a what the fuck ever event, I'm not sure. Okay, so the March to Save America starts at 9 a.m. Tony informs Mark Meadows that authorities at the Ellipse encountered attendees with weapons. 200 to 300 Proud Boys begin marching towards the Capitol at 10:30 a.m. 10:47, Giuliani begins his speech, starting at 2 hours, 19 minutes, and 10 seconds. And this, at the Ellipse event, reiterating with Eastman that everything outlined by the plan today is perfectly legal and perfectly appropriate. And goes on to call for trial by combat. Good one. At 11:58, about an hour later, Trump begins his speech at the Ellipse. In this speech, he pressures Republicans in Congress to challenge the vote certification. He calls on Pence to refuse to certify the vote. He reiterates false election fraud allegations. He reiterates tons of different, I don't know how to say it, and almost like all of them. He goes through, I think he spends like 20 or 30 minutes going through every false allegation. And we're also caught up to fight like hell, or else we're not going to have a country anymore. That's at the beginning of his speech. It will end about an hour and 20 minutes later. Let's see. At 12:30, Senator Ron Johnson's aide attempts to get fake elector slates from Michigan and Wisconsin to the vice president, but is refused by Pence's aide, Chris Hodgkin. 12:45. The FBI, Capitol Police, and the ATF respond to a pipe bomb found outside the RNC headquarters. At 12:53, the Proud Boys have broken through the outer perimeter and engaged USCP officers. This is the first breakthrough of any restricted area at the Capitol on January 6th. Did they find out who did the pipe bomb stuff? I don't believe they ever found out who placed those. At 1 p.m., the joint session to certify the election begins in Congress. The pipe bomb was found outside the DNC, not the RNC. Nope, they were found outside both. Well, the first one was found outside the RNC, and then the second one was found outside the DNC. At 1:02, I think a couple minutes after the certification has begun, Pence's Twitter account tweets a letter, including the statement, "It is my considered judgment that my oath to support and defend the Constitution constrains me from claiming unilateral authority to determine which electoral votes should be counted and which should not." This is the tweet that he had made that day. At 1:07, I think it's about an hour later. 30, maybe about 30 minutes later. A pipe bomb was found outside the DNC headquarters. Later reports confirmed that Kamala Harris was within 20 feet of this pipe bomb earlier that morning. I should find a news article about that. I know this is reported everywhere. At 1:10, Trump's speech ends with him sending his audience to the Capitol. His ending words were, and we fight like hell, and if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore. Our exciting adventures and boldest endeavors have not yet begun. My fellow Americans, for our movement, for our children, and for our beloved country. And I say this despite all that's happened, the best is yet to come. So we're going to walk down Pennsylvania Avenue. I love Pennsylvania Avenue. And we're going to the Capitol, and we're going to try and give. The Democrats are hopeless. They never vote for anything, not even one vote. But we're going to try and give our Republicans, the weak ones, because the strong ones don't need any of our help. We're going to try and give them the kind of pride and boldness that they need to take back our country. So let's walk down Pennsylvania Avenue. I want to thank you all. God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you all for being here. This is incredible. Thank you very much. Let's see. The protesters from Trump's speech were sent to the Capitol about 20 minutes after the first breach of the Capitol grounds by the Proud Boys. At 1:10 a.m., Stop the Steal lead organizer Ali Alexander sends a text to Thomas Van Fleen, who is Representative Gozar's chief of staff, saying, "I think you and your staff should maybe leave. This is hell out here." At 1:11, Trump finishes his speech at the Ellipse event. Okay, so this is 1:10. He starts saying this. I don't really need this both in here. 1:11, 1:10. Okay. So probably by the time he finishes that statement. Despite protests from Trump to attend the Capitol protest, the motorcade takes him back to the White House. At 1:25, Trump begins watching TV for 187 minutes during the riot. During this time, Trump would watch Fox News, make a few tweets, and make several phone calls to Giuliani and some members of Congress to encourage lawmakers to continue to fight the certification. He never made any calls to law enforcement or the National Guard to issue orders to stop the riots, and repeatedly refused calls to do so from those that would go in and talk to him. In a later interview, Trump claimed that he wanted to go back to stop the problem himself, but he was refused. There's no evidence of this ever happening. Don't know why. Okay. At 1:35 in the Senate, McConnell warned senators that rejecting the electoral vote could send American democracy into a death spiral. At 2:12, Stuart Rhodes, the leader of the Oath Keepers, entered the restricted Capitol grounds on the northeast side of the Capitol. For the Oath Keepers, I don't have anything about the quick response or quick reaction forces. Let's see. Oath Keepers. When did they start doing this? The Oath Keepers were only ever like 10 to 12 people strong, right? I don't think they ever had hundreds of people. It was just like 12. There was stack 1 and stack 2. They didn't have a bunch of other people like the Proud Boys. What do you think would have happened different if Trump did go to protest? Who the fuck knows? Like anything could have happened. Who knows? Hold on, let's see. I think all of the prep might have been done the day before. Oh, you know what? That's just a great quote. So we would go back up here to the very beginning of the day. At 6:27 a.m., Stuart Rhodes, the Oath Keepers leader, messaged the Oath Keepers leadership signal chat and informed them that they would have several well-equipped QRF, which is a quick reaction force, or people ready to supply weapons, ammunition, and other combat gear right outside of DC. They would start driving over at 8:30. Okay. All right. Going back down here. Okay, so Rhodes entered the restricted Capitol grounds on the northeast side of the Capitol at 2:12. At 2:13, Proud Boys member Dominic Pizzola breaches the Capitol building with a stolen riot shield. Michael Sparks, a 46-year-old man from Kentucky, was the first rider to enter the Capitol building through the broken window. This is the very first time during the day that the actual Capitol building itself is breached by any rider. At 2:13, right after, the Senate is gavelled into recess and Pence is removed from the Senate chambers, delaying the certification of the vote. At 2:14 p.m., rioters outside are chanting, "Hang Mike Pence." When Trump was informed of this, Hutchin testified that Trump said Mike deserves it. At 2:15 p.m., the rioters reached the second floor. This is where Eugene Goodman... Ooh, actually, you know what? We give that. That's a Trump action. We give that. 2:15 p.m., the rioters reached the second floor, where USCP officer Eugene Goodman lured insurrectionists away from the open Senate chamber's door, leading to the vice president's office, where Pence and his family were being held by the Secret Service. Pence refused to leave the Capitol. We have this during J6. At 2:24, 10 minutes later, Donald Trump tweets that Mike Pence didn't have the courage to do what should have been done to protect our country and our Constitution, giving states a chance to certify a corrected set of facts, not the fraudulent or inaccurate ones that were asked to previously certify. The USA demands the truth. This tweet was made 1 hour and 30 minutes after the initial breach through the security area onto the Capitol grounds and was done after aides had been unsuccessfully trying for up to 20 minutes to get him to release a calming tweet. It was also tweeted out about 10 minutes after... Wait, hold on. So an hour and 30 minutes after the initial breach into the secured area onto the Capitol grounds, and 10 minutes after the rioters had breached the actual Capitol building. This tweet was made after aides had been unsuccessfully trying for up to 20 minutes to release a calming tweet. At 2:25, the rotunda doors are breached by rioters. For the first breach into the rotunda, I don't believe that the Oath Keepers were there at the very first breach for that, right? They come into the rotunda afterwards, but I don't think they did beforehand. I believe so. I believe. Wait, let's check real quick. Initial January 6th. Initial breach. Capitol. No, Rotunda doors. The fact that he tweeted that is wild. Basically a tacit endorsement on violence. Yeah, I know. It's annoying because like so many conservatives like, oh, he tweeted to be peaceful that day. He was making tweets like, bro, if you look at like what's going on, this is wild. They're like, no, shut the fuck up. 225. Okay. 225, the return. Okay, 226 to 306. In a conversation to McCarthy and others, Senator McCarthy, no, Representative McCarthy, right? Because he did the House stuff. Representative McCarthy and others, Trump tells McCarthy that the people outside must be more upset than he is about the election results. He also calls other lawmakers to see if they can further delay the election certification. Do we have, there's got to be a story about Trump's call with McCarthy during January 6th. I don't think that McCarthy says anything about it, but I think he's writing about. Fuck. I thought there was more written about this. I was looking for Hasan Chaztiks, and I said found Hasan calling Israel-Palestine a genocide 3 years ago. Wait, really?
And Joe Biden too. I mean, dude, our government is responsible for every single individual child death. Like I said, we look away, but we're taking a side. We're actively taking a side in the ongoing genocide, dude. And that side is with the genociders. As the holy month of Ramadan comes to an end, Jill and I send our warmest greetings to all those celebrating Eid.
Damn, so they've been genociding for 3 years, for 50 years, for 100 years. Okay.
Hey, it's Jared.
Yo, what
show
up?
you how I created my dorm room vibe.
Show me.
With Amazon. I have tons of different clothes. I have some pajama pants, more pajama pants. People say I have too much. I don't really listen to people. I love to journal. I got my gratitude journal. I got my mantra
Oh my
journal.
God, he's got so many
my
journals.
5-minute journal. And I got a package from Amazon. Let's see what we got for today. This is perfect. This is my journal that I journal about journaling. Dear Diary, I wish I had more PJs.
We've heard this evening how everyone in the president's orbit was pushing him to do more, to tell the mob to leave the Capitol. One of those people was Republican leader Kevin McCarthy. He managed to get the president on the phone and told him to call off his supporters. As you will hear, the president refused, and so Leader McCarthy reached out for help to Ivanka Trump, who was at the White House, and Jared Kushner, who that afternoon had just arrived back on a flight from the Middle East.
So at some point in the afternoon, Mr. McCarthy placed a phone call to Mr. Scavino's desk line, and it was transferred to the president. Is that correct?
That's generally what I recall.
Okay. Were you involved in transferring that call?
Yes.
Okay. Where was the president at the time that he took that call?
He was in the dining room.
Would you personally reach out to the president for more support?
I've already talked to the president. I called him. I think we need to make a statement, make sure that we can calm individuals down.
Did Mr. McCarthy indicate that he had been in touch with President Trump?
He indicated that he had some conversation. I don't recall whether it was with the president or somebody at the White House, but I think he expressed frustration that not taking the circumstances seriously as they should in that moment.
I asked Kevin McCarthy, who's the Republican leader, about this, and he said he called Donald Trump. He finally got through to Donald Trump, and he said, "You have got to get on TV. You've got to get on Twitter. You've got to call these people off." You know what the president said to him? This is as it's happening. He said, "Well, Kevin, these aren't my people. These are Antifa." And Kevin responded and said, "No, they're your people. They literally just came through my office windows, and my staff are running for cover. I mean, they're running for their lives. You need to call them off." And the president's response to Kevin, to me, was chilling. He said, "Well, Kevin, I guess they're just more upset about the election, theft than you are." And that's, you've seen widespread reports of Kevin McCarthy and the president having basically a swearing conversation. That's when the swearing commenced, because the president was basically saying, I'm okay with this.
Leader McCarthy, the president of the United States has a briefing room steps from the Oval Office. The cameras are hot 24/7, as you know. Why hasn't he walked down and said that now?
I conveyed to the president what I think is best to do, and I'm hopeful the president will do it.
And have you spoken with his chief of staff?
I've spoken to the president. I've spoken to other people in there and to the White House as well.
Who else reached out to Ms. Trump that you know of that afternoon about the attack on the Capitol?
I believe at one point McCarthy did.
I heard my phone ringing, turned the shower off, saw it was Leader McCarthy, who I had a good relationship with. He told me he was getting really ugly over at the Capitol and said, please, anything you can do to help, I would appreciate it. I don't recall specific asks, just anything you could do. Again, I got the sense that, they were scared. They, meaning Leader McCarthy and people on the Hill, because of the violence? He was scared, yes.
At 2:26, Trump calls Senator Mike Lee by accident, trying to get a hold of Senator Tuberville. Mike passes the phone over to Tuberville, where him and Trump chat for a few moments. Nobody knows what the contents of that chat is. Neither have commented on it. At 2:28, Mark Meadows begins to receive text messages begging him to ask Trump to send people home. He gets a lot of texts over the next hour. Marjorie Taylor Greene says, Mark, I was just told there's an active shooter on the first floor of the Capitol. Please tell the president to calm people. This isn't the way to solve anything. At 2:32, Laura Ingraham says, hey, Mark, the president needs to tell people the Capitol to go home. This is hurting all of us. He's destroying his legacy and playing into every stereotype. We lose all credibility against the BLM/Antifa crowd if things go south. You can tell him I said this. At 2:35, Mick Mulvaney says, Mark, he needs to stop this now. Can I do anything to help? At 2:44 p.m., Representative Barry Loudermilk says, it's really bad up here on the Hill. They've breached the Capitol. At 2:48, Meadows responds, the POTUS is engaging. At 2:49, Loudermilk responded, thanks, this doesn't help our cause. At 2:46, Representative William Timmons says, the president needs to stop this ASAP. At 2:49, Meadows responded, we are doing it. At 2:53, Donald Trump Jr., well-known relation to Donald Trump, the president, texts Mark Meadows and says, actually true. Somebody donated and said, it's interesting you're covering this. 7 years since Charlottesville, Baked Alaska, Fuentes, Proud Boys, and Oath Keepers were at both events. It's kind of weird. I feel like I've talked to quite a few people, I think, that were like part of this, involved in this. I think I talked to Joe Biggs was the guy who got the largest prison sentence, wasn't he? Longest prison sentence, January 6th. Was it Biggs? Enrique Tarrio got 22 years in prison. Oh, no, Joe Biggs only got 17. Okay, never mind. But we debated like 8 years ago. I don't think I've ever spoken to Tarrio, right? And then obviously we chatted with Baked Alaska, obviously with Fuentes, obviously with Alex Jones. I'm trying to think if there are any other Proud Boys or Oath Keepers we spoke with. I don't remember if I have or not. I'm not sure. Stuart Rhodes? Did I ever talk to Rhodes? I don't think so. I don't remember. So I feel like no. No. Oh, I would remember an eye patch dude, I think. Oh, we've spoken to suspect Sushi. Did he end up getting arrested? Oh, Jeffrey Finley. Did he end up getting a big sentence? Pleaded guilty to charges of entering and remaining in the strict group. Okay, these aren't too much. 75 days in prison. Okay, yeah. Cat brutally murdered, not safe for life. Okay. Donald Trump Jr. to Mark Meadows. He's got to condemn this shit ASAP. The Capitol Police tweet is not enough. Meadows responded, I'm pushing it hard. I agree. After Trump Jr. messages him and says, this is one you have. Fuck, he typos so much. There's autocorrect on your phone, dude. What's happening? This is one you go to the mattress on. They will try to fuck his entire legacy on this if it gets worse. Unidentified person texts Mark Meadows, are you with POTUS right now? Hearing he's in the dining room watching this on TV. Is he going to say anything to de-escalate apart from that tweet? Reince Priebus, former White House chief of staff, says, tell them to go home, all caps. Former White House strategic communication director Alyssa Farah texts Mark saying, POTUS has to come out firmly and tell protesters to dissipate. Someone's going to get killed, ... When did Ashley Babbitt get shot? Oh, 2:44. So somebody had already gotten killed. Representative Chip Roy texted him saying, fix this now. Meadows responded, we are. Sean Hannity texted him saying, can you make a statement? I saw the tweet. Ask people to peacefully leave the Capitol. Meadows responded on it. Unknown texter, please have POTUS call this off at the Capitol. Urge rioters to disperse. I pray to you. Another unidentified texter, is he coming out? He has to, right? Brian Kilmeade, Fox News host, says, please get him on TV, destroying everything you guys have accomplished. And then another Donald Trump Jr. text. We need an Oval address. He has to leave now. It's gone too far and gotten out of hand. These are all the texts that Meadows was getting from 2:28 onwards. At 2:38 p.m., Donald Trump tweets, please support our Capitol Police and law enforcement. They are truly on the side of our country. Stay peaceful. This was an hour and 25 minutes after the initial breach of the Capitol grounds, and what was it? 25 minutes. And 25 minutes after the breach of the Capitol building itself. This tweet wasn't even written by Trump, but it was written and posted by Scavino, his aide. Trump didn't even post this. He didn't even want to post this. But Scavino managed to do it. At 2:38 p.m., Stack 1 of the Oath Keepers breaches the rotunda doors on the east steps of the Capitol. There is video of that. Stack 1, rotunda doors, Oath Keepers. The fuck is this bullshit? January 6th.
And that was interesting to me from a historical perspective. I'm a historian. I have my PhD in history.
Oh, God, fuck me. No, I didn't.
And it was just very interesting to watch the
really see that iconography that actually when it came to Civil War era.
There is a better, I have a better video of this. Is it down here? Let's see. Oath Keepers, advertisement for the rally, call to violence, claimed in court. It's this. Okay, 2:38 p.m. Okay, you can see Stack 1 coming in. I think they highlight them. Wow, look at them all. How cute. I shouldn't have breaches. I should have enters because it's already technically been breached. Enters the breached rotunda doors. We should say that. On the east side of the Capitol. Pelosi, in a secure area, ponders how to maintain some sense of security and confidence in the American presidential vote after the rioters have managed to delay the certification of the election. At 2:44, Ashley Babbitt is shot by Capitol Police after attempting to force her way into a broken door window into the Speaker's lobby. At 3:13 p.m., Donald Trump tweets, I am asking for everyone at the U.S. Capitol to remain peaceful. No violence. Remember, we are the party of law and order. Respect the law and our great men and women in blue. Thank you. This tweet comes 30 minutes after Ashley Babbitt has been shot in the Capitol. The Proud Boys' initial breach was at 12:53. 12:53. So about 2 hours and 20 minutes. Wait, hold on. 2 hours and 20 minutes after the restricted grounds were breached by the Proud Boys. And then 2:13, 1 hour after the Capitol building was broken into, and 30 minutes after Ashley Babbitt had been shot. At 4:17, Donald Trump tweets out a video. I know your pain. I know you're hurt. We had an election that was stolen from us. It was a landslide election, and everyone knows it, especially the other side. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. We have to have law and order. We have to respect our great people in law and order. Trump posted on Twitter, we don't want anybody hurt. It's a very tough period of time. There's never been a time like this where such a thing happened, where they could take it all away from us. I don't need this. From me, from you, from our country, this is a fraudulent election, but we can't play into the hands of these people. We have to have peace, so go home. We love you. You're very special. We've seen what happens. You see the way others are treated, that are treated so bad and so evil. I know how you feel, but go home and go home in peace. Apparently 3 takes were done of this video, according to aides, with them choosing the most palatable version for Twitter. This was tweeted out about 3 hours after the initial break-in to the Capitol restricted grounds. And then finally, after hours of requests from multiple parties, Secretary of Defense Christopher Miller finally authorizes the National Guard to deploy to the Capitol at 4:32. At 5:07 p.m., after an hour of attempts to get through, Giuliani finally reaches Trump by phone. After a 12-minute call over the next 3 hours, Giuliani calls Senators Marsha Blackburn, Mike Lee, Bill Hagerty, Lindsey Graham, Josh Hawley, Ted Cruz, and Dan Sullivan, as well as Representative Jim Jordan. Where's my source for this? Hold on. Giuliani phone calls January 6th. Does it have the calls he placed right after that? After 12 attempts over the hour to get through, Giuliani finally reaches Trump by phone. Giuliani. This doesn't, oh, it does. According to the J6 Select Committee's final report, so Giuliani placed a call that evening. Okay, here we go. Get them to delay the certification of the election. At 6 o'clock, the USCP declares the Capitol clear of protesters and a curfew in D.C. comes into effect. At 6 o'clock, Trump tweets, "These are the things and events that happen when a sacred landslide election victory is so unceremoniously and viciously stripped away from great patriots who have been badly and unfairly treated for so long. Go home with love and in peace. Remember this day forever. At 7 o'clock, Giuliani tries calling numerous members of Congress. In the hour before the joint session resumed, he left a voicemail for Senator Tuberville. Still trying to get people to push the election back.
Senator Tuberville, or I should say Coach Tuberville, this is Rudy Giuliani, President's lawyer. I'm calling you because I want to discuss with you how they're trying to rush this hearing and how we need you, our Republican friends, to try to just slow it down so we can get these legislatures to get more information to you. And I know they're reconvening at 8 tonight. But the only strategy we can follow is to object to numerous states. And
8:05, Pence enters the Senate chambers to resume the count. At 9 o'clock, Pelosi reopens the House. At 3:32 a.m. the following morning, Congress completes the counting of the electoral votes with Vice President Pence affirming the results of the election. And then at 7:10 p.m. on January 7th, Trump tweets a video where he lies about calling the National Guard immediately. He still refuses to acknowledge that the election was lost. Even the next day, Trump won't. This, him like not wanting to say that is so crazy.
It is now over. Congress has filed, right? See, I can't see it very well. Okay, I'll do this. I'm going to do this. Let's go. But this election is now over. Congress has certified the results. I don't want to say the election's over. I just want to say Congress has certified the results without saying the election's over, okay?
But Congress has certified. Now Congress is
Yeah.
59 seconds.
Now over. Congress has certified.
55.
Okay, I'll do this. I'm going to do this. Let's go. But this election is now over. Congress has certified the results. I don't want to say the election's over. I just want to say Congress has certified the results without saying the election's over, okay?
But Congress is certified. Now Congress is
Yeah, right.
Now Congress
I didn't say over, so let me see. Go to the paragraph before. Okay? I would like to begin by addressing the heinous attack yesterday. Yesterday is a hard word for me.
Just take it out. The heinous attack.
Good. Take the word yesterday, because it doesn't work with.
And then in the final statement that Trump had made on Twitter, that lost the election thing doesn't show up. I think that tweet is still live.
I'd like to begin be cooled and calm. We have just been through and demonstrators who infiltrated the Capitol have defiled the seat of American democracy. To those who engaged in the acts of violence and destruction, you do not represent our country. And to those who broke the law, you will pay. We have just been through an intense election and emotions are high. But now tempers must be cooled and calm restored. We must get on with the business of America. My campaign vigorously pursued every legal avenue to contest the election results. My only goal was to ensure the integrity of the vote. In so doing, I was fighting to defend American democracy. I continue to strongly believe that we must reform our election laws to verify the identity and eligibility of all voters and to ensure faith and confidence in all future elections. Now Congress has certified the results.
There it is. Now Congress has certified the results. The election's not over. That's it.
Future elections. Now Congress has certified the results. A new administration will be inaugurated on January 20th.
Okay. Am I missing anything? Oh, I should have stack 2 getting into the... When does stack 2 get in of the Oath Keepers? At 3:15 p.m. Is there a video of Stack 2 getting into the, going through the rotunda doors? Stack 2, rotunda doors, Oath Keepers. That might be part of this video.
That's Watkins. People assigned Oath Keepers to defend.
Been already stationed.
Stupid, and suddenly we're the people right now. Talk to us.
For long.
I wonder if it's in this video, actually. It might be. Let's see. $2:40 p.m. Oh, I guess I could change this by 2 minutes. Hold on. It's not a huge deal, but okay. Stack 2 got in at, we say, 3:15.
The unit that can advise at the house floor. The fire alarm. 1440.
Nice. Okay, and then they're them at 3:15. 3:14. Start copy. 3. Did you watch Pirates 2 last night? No, we ended up going out to eat with Lycan and friends instead. Jesus. These are cops here. How fucked and cucked are you? When you're just like, well, damn. It's Babbitt with 2 T's. Listen, I looked up whatever the fuck it was, so whatever it is whatever I've got written down. Okay. Do you think I don't think there's anything we're missing. I don't think there's anything we're missing in this. Any big events that happened during this day that we need to account for, right? Destiny, stream disagreements now. What do you want? Oh, it should be 2 T's.
Hello?
Hello, what's up? Good one. Okay, well. Oh, wait, 1 T. Babbitt. Oh, oh no, they got it right there. Babbitt. No. All right, what do you want? Oh, okay, well. Let's see. The riot on January 6th I should just use insurrection everywhere. The insurrection on January 6th would be the culmination of would see the attempted culmination of multiple parties plotting multiple things, all running concurrently with each other. Donald Trump would encourage and then utilize the violence of the day in an attempt to pressure lawmakers to refuse the certification of the election results. He would repeatedly ignore requests throughout the day to tell his supporters to stop the rioting. And he would, only sending out a tweet to encourage them to go home 3 hours after the rioting began. Giuliani and other members around Trump continue to further actions in order to decertify the vote, to refuse certification of the vote in Congress. Proud Boys would meet as planned in the morning, then head to the Capitol building to lead the initial violent break-ins past cop lines and into the locked building via breaking through a window. And the Oath Keepers would enter the Capitol. Well, let's see. The Oath Keepers, after spending the prior days stationing multiple stockpiles of arms, ammunition, and other equipment with quick reaction teams nearby, make their way in and out of the Capitol, waiting for an opportune moment to strike, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this is the rough timeline. Okay, we're done with that. Is that guy coming? Okay. The Proud Boys. When did they begin scheming? Do you like passion fruit? I feel like that's one of those fruits that sounds really good, but when you eat it, it's fucking gross. That and like dragon fruit or something. I feel like I've had these before and they're sour as fuck. Not good. Passion fruit is goated. No. It's not. Okay, it was in December. Let's see. December of 2020. Enrique Tarrio. New chapter of the Proud Boys called the Ministry of Self-Defense. Good one. What is this?
To do the jobs Americans won't do. Who did all these jobs before we had illegal aliens?
Today's subject is slavery.
I don't think that's exactly true, but...
Blue. Who did this? Blue, come here. Come here. Who did this? Blue, sit down. No, you are a bad boy. Blue, stop. Nobody. Blue, listen. Blue, please. Blue, Blue, you're a bad boy. Bad boy. Sit down. Bad boy. Why is your tail wagging? You're a bad boy.
Been partying. You got like 7 of these dogs for stream.
Exactly. Yeah. Like
4-year-old Hasan clip. Why?
But like people coming up to me when I'm live on a stream and saying that kind of stuff, that's what's gonna get a bad image. Okay. Yeah. I'm not here to cause any trouble. I'm just chilling. Okay. So are you.
Wait, what?
Okay. So are you.
You're also a white person, she says. This was Chaz? Oh.
No! I bet this person is in my fucking Discord too. Oh! Stop! Stop! Be normal! Be normal! Be fucking normal, dude! Be normal! Why can't you be normal?
Hi, what do you want?
It's so close. It's so close.
More of like a Steelman kind of thing. How do we know in particular why the FBI failed in this particular instance, given that that we are civics pilled and that this institution is incredibly powerful and competent? Like, they stopped the Whitmer plot. How come they failed here? I just feel like that serves to a lot of the psychology of these people when we're trying to convince them.
Well, I mean, these guys all communicated via like encrypted messaging services and everything, right? They're all like doing messages on Signal and shit, right?
And I'm just genuinely asking, like, how many, like, do we know as to like the quantity and type of radios that they were using on January 6th?
Wasn't it just like standard 2-way, whatever the fuck radios? But I mean, by the time J6 happens, it's kind of too late at that point to to do anything massive. No.
Well, I'm assuming just because in their minds that they're trying to like cross the distance between like the whole like cucked out colloquial definition of like an armed rebellion, and I feel like that's really important to emphasize that these radios, this equipment is like incredibly shitty, but
what do we mean by incredibly shitty? They're just radios. They don't have to do much. They just send radio transmissions.
No, I mean, I'm more referring to like the amount and quantity that you would have to to perform this like competently at all. Or if you're just not approaching it from that, I understand that as well. But I'd also like to ask, how do you feel? I feel like it's safer now to ask this given that Harris is leading in RCP. Do you feel comfortable with the foreign policy situation given the prospective cognitive state of the president?
Probably, yeah. I still haven't seen any evidence, or there hasn't been any good evidence that he like has issues leading. I feel like the foreign policy in the United States over the last 4 years is way fucking better than it was in the times leading up to it. I think that the all the foreign conflict that we're involved in right now that I'm aware of, I think is like pretty noble and is easy to defend. Whereas in the prior administration, I think there's a lot of more questionable stuff.
No, the critique is not that our goals are unjust or that we shouldn't be pursuing them. Is that, or do we have like a decision leader who is capable of taking the large macroscopic decisions? Like you're getting into your civics pilled era like a lot, and I really do appreciate that, and I appreciate your objectivity on Israel Palestine. I'd really encourage you to look into the fact, like the context surrounding the president's civilian, like the fact that the president is the civilian leader of the military. I think that that's really important also to understand the psychology of why motherfuckers on the right now are just so brain broken right now, because they can't overlook that fact.
I don't understand what. Hold on, guide me to what we're.
Well, it's essentially I'm just positing that the president's mental status is, I mean, you can say that there's no evidence for it, but I felt, in my opinion, I work in healthcare, I work in nursing. I didn't feel, based on that 90 minutes of uncut footage of him interacting, walking, talking, that he is at least sound of mind in that moment. You can argue like frequency, circumstances, does he have an infection or whatever, but that wasn't very faith inspiring, and they haven't put out anything like very easily. Like I feel like they could just post cognitive exams, very simple, easy cognitive exam results, and they would dispense with all of this line of questioning immediately, but they haven't.
You know that like that idea, I don't know why people still say this. You know that that would never be the case, right? Like there is, when people have decided a particular thing like this, no amount of any testing would ever satisfy anybody unless it shows what they want to see. They would either say that the results are rigged. They would say, like, we went over this with Obama's birth certificate. Like even when Obama, I'm pretty sure they actually released and published the birth certificate, you had people, I think it was mainly the Arpaio guy, was like scanning it under a thing saying like, well, actually you can see where the birth certificate was edited and modified here and they left out this piece of information. Like there is no test or anything that would satisfy people. If it doesn't just like basically reinforce what they already believe to be true. I don't think it would satisfy the most religious zealots. I think that there are a lot more people than you give credit for. I mean, I understand why you believe that. You're justified in that belief that the majority of the party is completely fucked. I disagree. I think that there's a lot more people that are willing to move on all Trump's bullshit if you give them all the overwhelming evidence, which they don't have the time for, quite frankly, which I understand. It's just that there's a lot of people, at least maybe this is just anecdotal, but I feel like a lot of people really still are having trouble trying to jump the Harris fence just because there hasn't been like that transparency. Like, I mean, if you're losing like the credibility in the abdication of the being the nominee. So why not just double down and say, okay, well, this is what we know so far, and we're going to be more forthright with this information. We understand it's a valid concern, given the fact that there are these like broad crises going on right now. Like the deployment of our military is very odd. It's in a way that does suggest that the Israel-Palestine direction is heading towards a war that could potentially involve us. And it worries people. Wait, what's going on here? Did I miss something in the news, or what's happening with that?
Well, we moved like a lot of carrier strike groups, F-22 squadrons. That's like a really eyebrow raising kind of thing, because in terms of our Air Force's capability, as far as I understand it as a layman, that is a huge deal. I would defer you to people like Ryan Macbeth, the OSINT people, to really articulate this to you. I really wish I could accurately, but I don't. But that's like another crisis level situation that's brewing. I believe Iran said that, no, they put out a notice to airmen, which is something they do to ground civilian air traffic so that when an attack is launched, you don't get the baggage of unnecessarily killing civilians from whatever the fuck country. They put that in place from tonight until I believe through Wednesday. So I'm assuming whatever attack that they have is coming. And we've been moving a lot of like equipment. And again, I defer to Ryan Macbeth as to the types and specificity and the like give a fuckness about this. But it seems like we're preparing for Iran to go for a death blow. with Hezbollah launching their rockets simultaneously with the Houthis and with all the proxy groups in Iran and Syria
Do you
and
think it might
Iran
just be
launching.
that, like, if as people are making statements and tensions are rising, that like moving around militaries is just kind of what you're supposed to do to show that you like are ready to respond to things if things do happen? Or
I think it's entirely possible, but again, it's really just disconcerting to like the cucked out Pence Republicans like myself, who I genuinely don't have any like faith or assurance that the civilian leader is able to like even make decisions like on a broad, like I understand, like yes, the Security Council might be making decisions as like a committee or whatever, and that's all well and good. I'm not saying that the United States is that existential threat. I don't think the institutions would allow that. They're too strong. It's just that I feel like there are things that we could be doing or could have done sooner that may not have happened because the president may not have been cognitively capable or whatever circumstance.
okay,
All right. Well, I'd look into the civilian leader of the military thing. I think you'd really enjoy going through that. Good luck.
I love you. Be careful. Arden Pitt, you're up.